Hi everyone, welcome to our batch. Vinay, I guess you already attended previous demo, right?
Yes, ma'am. The last
Okay,
three demos I rendered.
you attended. Okay, great. So I guess remaining people who are attending today is, I guess this is your first demo, right?
Yes, madam.
Great. Okay. So Vinay, actually due to the, due to some factors or due to some, count of registrations we are just planning to take two more demos and I will teach everything. Okay, already we are done with 2 or 3 demos previously, but again from today onwards also I will cover all the concepts which we already saw in that demos. Okay, just listen to me so that it will be again a kind of revision for you, Vinay, and remaining all students, I guess they are new today, right, Roshan?
Yes, ma'am. Right, ma'am. Actually, ma'am, this is the
Mhm.
first class. Yeah, you will take in a few next before a week of classes,
Sorry, I didn't get you.
and this is the first class, ma'am. Na?
Yeah, actually, what happened? From today also we are taking as fresh. Last 2 days also I gave the demos, but as I'm saying, due to some factors, once again we relaunched the batch. I can say today from today we will start. Today is our first class. You can imagine whatever I taught in last 2 days. Once again, I will repeat it.
Okay,
Okay.
ma'am. Thank you. Thank
All
you.
right. Okay, you're welcome. So Prem and Pinaki Palit, I guess you are also attending today only, correct?
Correct.
Yes,
Correct,
yes.
ma'am.
Right, perfect. Hi Neha, you already attended my classes, but as I said, you just now joined, no? So I'm repeating it once again. Due to the, due to some X factors, we are just again for the next 2 days also, we are just continuing with the demos. Okay, please hold on, try to listen everything. It will be kind of a revision for you also. Okay. All right. So before starting, the guys who are, attending first today, please let me know about you a little bit. Like, are you coming from IT background or non-IT background? Do you have some basic knowledge on SQL?
Yes, ma'am. I have a little bit knowledge about MySQL, ma'am.
MySQL, great. Okay. What about others?
Yeah, ma'am. I do have idea on SQL.
SQL.
I
Okay,
am
little bit.
working in a
Mhm.
non-IT domain.
Okay, okay, fine. Okay. Yes, Pinaki.
Yes, madam. I'm from a IT background,
Okay,
and currently I am in a business analyst profile
okay.
and working with Oracle SQL and MySQL.
Sorry, what did you just say
What,
lastly?
what I'm working with Oracle SQL and MySQL.
Oh, okay, okay, fine. I got it. So whoever got attended today, you guys already have some knowledge on SQL, right?
Yes.
Great. First, so before starting, first let me introduce myself. I'm Divya. I'm having about 7+ years of experience, real-time experience into data analytics. I'm currently working as a senior data analyst for one of the MNCs in Hyderabad, and I completed my master's in data science. I'm having about 4+ years of experience into training. I have experience in teaching all the data science concepts such as a SQL, Power BI, Tableau, Python, statistics, and machine learning. Okay, so this is about me. And as all you are here to learn SQL, as I said, I already covered 2 to 3 demos, but again, I will repeat all the concepts. And as as you already said that you're already having some knowledge on some basic knowledge on SQL, that will be again a good thing here. Okay, so yes, let's start. This is whatever you are seeing on my screen. This is actually my SQL workbench, right? Let me share my complete screen first. Just give me a second. Right. So within couple of days, I'll show you the installation process of MySQL, guys. Once you got installed, I will just assist you the every step of installation in the class itself. Okay. Once you got installed, whenever you open your workbench, this is how you can see. You need to click on local instance. So this is the user interface, I can say. These are all some previous class notes. Let me close them quickly. All right. So this is the user interface of MySQL. Okay. So basically, first, let me tell you some points here. Then I will show you the user interface, and let's start creating, or let's start discussing about let's start technical concepts only today. But before that, just let me give you some basic introduction of a SQL, I can say. As you already know, as you already have some knowledge on SQL, it won't take much time, correct? So first of all, we will use SQL to manage or maintain our data, correct? We have few terms called as database here, right? Basically, previously, few years ago, what it happened, I mean, like many years ago, there is before the invention of computer, we in all the companies, they used to store every data in the form of files, right? They used to store everything. They used to enter every data by manually in the files, like that. That means they used to do paperwork over there. Previously, we all know that, correct? Then computers came into existence, and slowly everything started moving. Every organization or every companies started moving that paperwork or file system to the computer based system, correct? We know that in computers, maybe in the Excel file or maybe in the text file, they started entering their data, kind of thing. Like that, from years to years, as we all know how technologies are being developed, how software is being developed, and we also are using nowadays, we are using everything online only, correct? Maybe especially from last 5 6 years, from the COVID pandemic time, we started using everything online, correct? It may be online shopping, maybe online transactions. Even we are connected today online only to learn the subject, correct? Previously, it was not the thing. We need to go to, we were conducted offline classes. Even works also, we used to go to offices only. You guys all know about these things, correct? So how, how we are developing, how technology is developing, with that development of the technology, what is happening here? Whatever we're using today, it may be smartphone, it may be smart devices which we have in our in our daily life, in our homes, in our houses, everywhere. We even started watching everything, movies also, everything in the OTT platforms only. Even shopping also, we are using many e-commerce websites, right? So whatever we are doing on the daily basis, basically we are generating data only, correct? With the every usage of our devices, maybe of our accounts, it may be Gmail account, it may be any application which we use in our phones or smartphones, or whatever it is, everywhere we are generating a data, correct? So as data is increasing day by day, previously with the data used to be small. They used to enter every data manually in the Excel files or text files some years ago. But however data is increasing, database came into the picture, correct? Because we cannot store big data in the form of Excel files, right? There are some limitations. We cannot store, we can store only up to 1 million records in Excel file. But nowadays we are generating lots and lots of data. So for the, and we in the Excel file also will have some technicality issues, right? If we are entering any data, we may enter any wrong data. And whenever I entered any wrong data, Excel files or text files, they won't stop me entering that wrong data, right? They won't say, they won't throw us any error. They won't say that we are entering wrong data. Whatever we enter, it will accept, correct? So due to that, we have some reasons like that, and due to that reasons, whenever we started dealing with the big data, database came into existence. And we now, each and every company, whether a small company or big company, everyone is using their own database to store the data, correct? Database is nothing but, I can say, collection of data, correct? Where we will store the data collectively is called as database. I hope I'm clear till here, everyone.
Yes.
Correct. So again, today we are here to learn SQL, correct? SQL in the sense structured query language, as you all know, correct? So basically, the technical definition of SQL is that it is a language which we will use to communicate with the databases. Okay. SQL is a language which is used to communicate with the databases. Basically what we are doing, we are storing our data inside database, but there should be something in between which helps to communicate our requirements to the database, right? We need to use obviously some language, correct? Whenever we are talking to someone, whenever we are trying to explain something about our requirements in our daily life, we will use any of the language, maybe English, Hindi, like that, right, to convey our messages. In the same way, to convey our requirements to the database, like first we will store all the data in the databases. Whenever we want to see any kind of data to convey our requirement, we will use a language called as SQL. By using SQL only, whatever, there will be something called as syntaxes in SQL. Maybe I can say something called as rules for each and every concepts which we are going to learn. Everything we will learn very practically from the starting, from the scratch, I can say. I will show you at the end what is the index we'll going to cover in this course content. Okay. So basically for everything there will be some syntaxes. By following this syntaxes, whatever our requirement is there, by following those syntaxes, we will tell or we will communicate our requirement to the database. Accordingly, it will perform whatever we want, and it will gives or displays the data according to our requirement, correct? And SQL, whether you here we you can choose any of the domain. I can say SQL is the backbone for complete IT industry, right? You can be from any domain. You can be, you can choose any domain, whether it may be data science, data analytics. Not only data science. In data science, we have many roles, right? Like data engineers, data science, data analysts, data visualization developers. Like that, we have many roles under data science. So data science is one of the domain, as we all know, correct? So for data science, not only data science, if you can talk about any other domains, it may be full stack development, right? It may be SAP, it may be anything normal, it may be like PeopleSoft developer, NetSuite developer. What is the role? It may be wherever you go in the IT industry, for each and every role, for each and every job, for each and every domain, SQL is must. Everywhere SQL is used to maintain the databases, correct? So wherever you go, everyone will see first SQL or not. So I can say SQL is the basic language or the first subject where we should be perfect with that subject. Then we can that will become the base, or that will become the foundation to start our careers, or how much perfectly, how much sound knowledge will have in that SQL, that much strongly you can build your foundations, or you can build your careers in any domain. That is the importance of SQL. Maybe you all know, everywhere in any company, in any domain you go, they will see, they will ask, everyone will consider this as the basic subject to know. But again, learning SQL also, I can say there are many ways. Someone will, in many of the institutes, what they will do, they will just teach very previously. When I was learning, like years ago, what had happened, when I was learning, I also learned in some institute, they taught me only the syntaxes. At that time, there is not much of, no one used to explain with the real time databases kind of thing. It is a kind of, by hearted kind of we can imagine like that. Before, maybe before 10 years, it is not like this. Even the understanding or even the learning of the process was also different. But eventually, we go with our experience, or eventually how even the you know increasing or improving of our educational system also. Nowadays also, so many institutes, what they will do, they will use a normal databases, maybe with a small examples of employees table, students table, they will try to teach. Only few institutes are taking real-time databases and explaining SQL. But if we learn SQL, each and every concepts of SQL by using real-time database, it will gives us a lots of hands-on experience. Because in once we get into any job, we will deal with the databases where we will have big data only, right? There will be thousands of rows, there will be like 20 to 30 tables will be there. We need to learn in that proper way. That is a I believe that is a proper way of learning SQL. And here I will teach SQL all the concepts by using real-time database, that is Netflix database, or else I can say any kind of OTT platforms database, or else we can also consider this as any, any kind of, it may be music, or we will have some companies, right? In the music also, like maybe Sony, Aditya, T series. If like that of particular companies, if they are storing their DVDs in any store, in any offline store, that kind of database is also we will learn. Maybe I can say DVD. Okay, let me write it as DVD stores. Okay, those two, it's not a kind, I'm not explaining, I'm not telling that I'm going to tell you two different databases. That is a kind of database when I will show you mainly focus on, our focus will be on the usage of OTT platform. In that database only, if I included two tables, it will become my physical store. Because not only an online, even we need to know if there is any physical store, if we are working on that kind of databases, how our data will look like, right? So I'm using one database here which includes these two things. Okay, so with that database only, I will teach you very practically from the basics to this to the all the advanced concepts here. Okay, and let me talk about the tool which we are using, that is MySQL. Okay, so SQL is a language, that is a universal declared language, only one language we have. Okay, but again, there are many tools in the market, correct? There is Oracle SQL, MySQL. These two are the products from the Oracle company. Next, we have SQL Server. This is a product of Microsoft. Like that, we have PostgreSQL. Like that, we have many tools. The concept here is only the different tools we have in the market, but the subject is same, right? The reason why I am choosing MySQL, in the sense, most of you might know that MySQL is an open source platform. That is, it is again a product of Oracle, but what they did, MySQL is available for everyone, everywhere freely. No need of, if any company wants to maintain the MySQL database, they not required to pay any amount to Oracle people. Whereas Oracle SQL, previously we used to have Oracle SQL, nowadays also it is there, but to maintain this Oracle SQL, that company should pay some amount for the Oracle. So if we are getting anything freely, obviously all companies tends to use that, right? So that is the reason why nowadays everyone is preferring to use MySQL. After MySQL, maybe SQL Server. But again, those two are same. There is no difference. Only one difference, it will be there in one topic. I will tell you at that topic. Remaining everything is same. Whatever queries you learn here, you can also execute all the queries in SQL Server Workbench also. Okay, so both are same, no difference. Basically, we need to learn SQL, and by using these tools, we will just maybe deal with that SQL. That's it. Whatever I explained till here, is that clear for everyone?
Yes.
Good, perfect. So this is about the basic understanding of what is database and what is SQL. Now, as I said, I will show you the user interface of SQL. Okay, I just opened my MySQL workbench. Okay, this is the user interface, I can say. I will show you the installation process of MySQL going forward. So once I open, I will get to see like this. Okay, so here we need to understand few things. You can see something called as schemas here. schemas is a place where we can see inside the schemas only, we will have the list of databases. Okay, you can see some databases here. This is the symbol of the database and this is the database name. Okay, this is the list of databases I have in my system. Okay, so first of all, whenever you install the MySQL server, you will find only this database by default. Once you create any of the databases, that list of the databases you can find here. Okay, and we need to open one new file so that we will write the queries, right? So to open that file, we have this option here, correct? This thing, the first option, right? If we click this option, we can get one new editor page where we can write all the SQL queries. I'm just clicking it. I got my file. You can see it. I got like SQL file 6. This is one file I can say, or this is one editor where we will write all the SQL queries. And once writing all the SQL queries, we can just save this file by using this option. Okay, the save symbol, we all know in everywhere we will have this symbol only, maybe PDFs or Excel files, right? The same symbol we'll have here also, and inside that file the second option. After writing anything, we can just save this file. After saving, we can give any name. Okay, basically it will allow us to save the file in any of the folder of our systems, right? And after saving to open that folders, this is the first icon. You can see this is some folder symbol. If I click here again, it will allow me to open any of my SQL, SQL files which I already stored. Okay, so this is how we will save and we will open the files. Okay, and to open a new file, again I said we need to click here, or else we have one more option, that is in the file. This is basically, we will call it as menu bar. This is toolbar. Okay, in menu bar we'll having something called as file. If I click on file, I can inside the file I can see new query tab. If I click this also, one new query tab or one new editable page will be open for us, or else this is the shortcut. Okay, anything is fine. And inside this we can see the third button here. This is nothing but execute button. After writing any queries, we need to click here, then only that will get executed. Okay, so this is the basic understanding of user interface. And towards the bottom you can see something like output here. Whenever we execute anything, that we can see the outputs in this section. Okay, so we have many options here. Going forward, whenever we are learning, we will see all those options. Okay, so is that clear for everyone?
Yes.
Yes.
Great. At this point of time, if you have any doubts, you can ask me, or else we will start creating our first database. I hope everything is clear. Let's see. Let's start database and let's see creating tables. Okay. So, and again here, what is our agenda? Our duration is of 35 to 40 days. Okay, course duration, and the course fees is of 2,000 only. Previously we used to charge 6,000, but from last 3 batches, this is the third batch, from last 3 batches we are just offering with only with the 2,000, that too with the real-time database, that is Netflix database. You can see here, this is our database which we are going to use in our course. Okay, we have many tables. This is a kind of Netflix database or any OTT platform, I can say. Maybe we have many OTT platforms, right? All will use this kind of database only. Once you deal with any, it may be the any domain, once you deal with one real-time database, you will get used to every database in whichever domain you will in whichever domain you belongs to. No problem. And at the end I will show you the course content, whatever topics we will cover. And daily basis, once we are done with the topic, you can see this is one of the file of our previous batch. Everywhere that this file I will upload. No, Prem, for now I'm not taking complete data analytics course. I'm just teaching SQL and Tableau for DurgaSoft. I'll teach Tableau also. Okay, all right. So once we are done with every class, once you get registered with us, you will get a link to your mail you will get a drive access. For that drive access, we will upload. I personally upload all these notes where you can see I don't believe in the giving some theoric kind of notes, because everything we will do practically only in companies also, right? So I won't give separately like syntaxes or separately like a theory part separately. Everywhere I'll just upload this direct SQL files where you can see whatever theory part will be, I will write like this. And after that, along with that, we will teach. I don't, I guess now it is visible for you. I will give the with examples only we will learn everything. Okay, the question and the syntaxes, everything like this I will write. All the theory part along with the syntaxes, along with the practical part, I will write in one file only, so that whenever you are referring, whenever you are preparing, if you open one file, that will be enough. There only you can see all the theory and all the queries part over there, right? So I believe in that way. So I will with the once our class is done, I will just upload all these files. Along with that, daily class videos, session videos also, you will get it. The videos will be uploaded in that link only, and you will get the access of that videos for 6 months. Okay, this is about our course details. So let's get into actual concepts. So let's create database first. Before that, let me tell you 2 or 3 important points here. We all know what is SQL, that is structured query language, correct? In MySQL, as someone said, they used Oracle SQL previously, correct? In Oracle SQL, semicolon is a must. There is something called as semicolon, right? The semicolon is optional here. Okay, previously in Oracle SQL, what, or SQL Server also previously, what it happened after the end of each and every syntax, every SQL syntax, we need to use semicolon. Whenever SQL sees semicolon, then only it will understand that that is the end of the SQL sentence. But now in MySQL, semicolon is optional. If we use also okay, if we don't use also okay. Semicolons. Okay, this is the first point. And we have something called as comments. Okay, whatever in any of the programming languages, along with the other programming languages, even in SQL also, we will have something called as comments. Whatever we write inside the comments, that is non-executable, right? I hope most of you already know about this. Okay, so here also in MySQL also, we will use comments. That is what I wrote previously, right? This 2 hyphens I can say. Here the comments, we will use it as, either I can use 2 hyphens like this, and after that if I write anything, that is non-executable, or else I can use 1 hash. After writing hash, I can write anything that is non-executable thing. So basically in our learning classes, I will write my notes inside the codes like this, right? You can see here. Or else in real time also, whenever if you want to write anything about any kind of hints about what we are writing inside the code, inside the syntaxes or inside the code, we will use so comments, right? We'll use comments like this, and we will write over there. Whatever we'll write inside the comments, that is non-executable. I cannot execute that is the concept here. So for comments, I said we will use either this one or this symbol. Okay, so that is the main points first. Sorry guys, we need to know. Now let's see how to create the databases. So here I'm having already so many databases. Let me just quickly remove this DURGASOFT 4 database. All right, so again I'm creating it DURGASOFT 4, or can you give me any name to create a database?
OTT.
OTT only. Okay, all right, let's create OTT. So all right, so to create the database, as I said, to write any SQL queries, we will have syntaxes, correct? So to create database also, we will have syntax, that is nothing but create database name. This is the syntax. Okay. Create database, database name will be the syntax. So this is, as this is a syntax, I wrote inside the quotes. Maybe I will write it as syntax here for creating the database. Okay. Or else let me write it more clearly. Okay. So the syntax is create a database, database name. So let me create a database, create database OTT. Okay. OTT is our database name. I'm creating like this. I need to write like this. After that, I will just select this one. And as I said, this third button will be our execute button, right? I'm just clicking on the execute. At the bottom, you can see I got my, output I can say, or message I can say. If you see like green color tick mark, that indicates we executed successfully. Okay. If you get any errors, it will show us like a red color cross mark. Okay. So this is how now I created the database. If you can see here, I having a list of databases, but I cannot see OTT for now. To to see that, generally get that database, whatever we created now in this list, we need to refresh here. Besides schemas, we are having something called as refresh button. If I refresh, you can see at the bottom I got my OTT, right? This is my database which we are created just now. So this is how we will create the database. Inside the database, basically how we will store the data inside the tables only, right? First we will create the database. Inside the database, we will create tables. Okay. Inside the tables, we will enter some data. But again, how we will enter the data? In the form of rows and columns. Okay. For example, let me show you. Same employees table, I guess. I have employees table. I will create employees table now. And maybe I will have employee ID, employee name, salary, date of joining. This will be my columns. Okay. This will be my table name. This will be my column names. Okay. If I enter any data randomly, that will become my row. Okay. I'll just quickly enter. Okay. So this is our table. This will be our table name. This will be our column name. Basically, what is the concept here? I think most of you already knew this. This vertical part is called as column, horizontal thing is called as row, right? So I'm having this is, I will consider this as a complete column data. Employee ID, I'm having 1 and 2 as my data inside it. This complete thing is called as row, right? So I'm having employee ID, employee name, salary, date of joining, 4 columns here and 2 rows here, correct? So let's see. First, as I said, first we'll create database. Inside database, we'll create tables. We'll create tables in the form of rows and columns like this. So now let's create table quickly. I guess everything is clear till now, right? So the syntax for creating table now. First of all, create is a command. We will use this command only to create in either database, either tables. We have something called as database objects. Database objects in the sense inside the database, we will have some objects. It can be a table, it can be view, stored procedure. Like that, we are having some objects. We will discuss that later going forward very deeply. So for all those database objects, we will use a command called as create to create them. I mean, to create all the database objects, we will use a command called as create. Okay. So for now, I'm creating a table, and the syntax for creating table is create a table name. Okay. Inside the table name, I will give some column names. Maybe column name 1, or else I'll directly write column 1. For that column, we need to define a data type. What is data type? I'll just explain you in a while. Column 2, data type. Column 3 data type, like that. Okay. I need to close the bracket at the end. Okay. So I hope this is clear. Everyone is there here from non-IT background. I mean, it's not like non-IT background. I hope you all know how we will create or insert the data, correct? So maybe you can able to understand whatever I'm saying, right? Guys, if you have any doubt, you can just stop me and ask me at any time. Okay, I'm telling this for everyone. And I can see one more, Adi Narayana. Hi, I know this is your first class. So are you from, can you please tell me a few things about you? Are you from IT background or non-IT background?
Yeah, I'm IT background. I'm already
I-
working.
Okay, great. So you already have some basic knowledge on SQL, right?
Yes.
Great. All right. So now we are seeing, yeah, thank you. Now we are seeing the table creation. So directly I will write this will be the syntax. Column 1, for every column we need to define a data type. Okay, now let's see how we will create it. I'm writing as create table. Employees is my table name, right? So I'll give the table name directly as employees, and inside that I will use the same columns which I used here. 4 columns I used, correct? So first one will be my employee ID, right? Next will be my employee name. Third will be my salary. And next I have date of joining. Okay, this will be my column names. For each and every column, as I said, we need to define data types first. So let's pause this, let's stop it here, creation of table, and let's first try to understand what are data types. Then we'll come back to here and we will create our table. Okay, so what is data type here? Data type is something which, for every column, whenever we are creating any table, we'll have columns, right? So for every column, we will define data type, and data type is something which tells, what kind of value we can enter in that particular column. Data type only defines what type of data we can enter in any column. Okay, for example, I just said previously, while writing, if we previously we used to enter the data in the Excel files or text files, right? What happened at that time? If we write anything randomly, if we write any wrong data, it used to accept, correct? If salary in the sense, obviously I need to write numbers only. Instead of numbers, if I'm writing anything, it is just accepting. It is not throwing me any error. It is not it is not telling me that I'm entering some wrong data, correct? So this is the one of the biggest drawback which we have in Excel, correct? Whatever data we enter, even it is knowingly or unknowingly, if we enter any incorrect data or irrelevant data, it accepts. So due to the whatever limitations we had in Excel file, they introduced databases, so that with the help of the databases, they overcome all the limitations whatever we saw, whatever we had previously in Excel file. One of the limitation is this one: Excel will allows whatever we enter, it won't throw any error. But as we are dealing with the databases, as we are as we are dealing with a big data, which we are in need of one such thing, our system should be, whatever, as we are storing lots and lots of data, we need one system, or we need something that it should be, our system should be so much of a robust, correct? Our system should be such robust that whenever we enter any irrelevant data or a wrong data, it should be first, it should stop us, and it should throw us an error, and it should be in such a position that it should tell us that we are entering some wrong data, correct? So to overcome this kind of limitations in databases, we will use data types. Data types is something, as I said, it it only, by using data types, whatever data types we define on every column name, with that help of that data types only, we will understand what kind of data we need to enter in that particular column. If we enter any other data, it won't accept, it will throw us error. Okay. So what data types, or how many data types we are having in the SQL, in the sense, first we are having numerical data type. Okay. First. Next, we are having character data type. Character or string, I can say, we can call anything. Next, we are having date data type. Right. Again, along with, besides with this, along with this, we are having few more data types, like maybe Boolean data types and some more data types, but very frequently, or most probably almost 90%, we will use this data types only. Okay, so let me just quickly show you one picture. So SQL data types, as you can see, mainly we will have this data types. First, numeric data types. As I said, numerical data types. Again, it further divides into two types, that is int and float. Okay, int in the sense it stores all normal numbers. Okay, float in the sense it stores decimal numbers also. In float, if we enter normal numbers also, it will accept. If we enter, we can enter normal numbers or decimal numbers, but in int we can enter only normal numbers, it won't define decimal numbers. Okay, so numeric data, we are having two data types here, int and float. Next, we are having character or string data type. In that, we are having two more data types, that is char and varchar. Okay, I'll explain them going forward, what is char and varchar and what is the differences between them. Next, we are having date and time data type. Okay, in that, again, we are having two data types, that is, one is date data type and the another one is date time data type. Okay, so, and the format we need to use is this one. I will just quickly write it here. So these are the mostly used data types, I can say. Numerical data types, as I said, it is further divided into int and float, right? So int is used to store normal numbers, float is used to store decimal numbers. Okay, whatever notes I will upload for you once you registered, in that notes I will mention all these things very clearly. Okay, character or string data type, we will have two types of data types in this. One is var, or one is varchar. Basically, to store the characters, we will use this data type. Here, to store the numbers, we will use this data type, right? And third data type, to store, obviously, to store dates, we will use this data type. And we have date data type and date time data type. Okay, in date data type, we will use the format like this: year, first year, then month, then date. Like, complete year, YYYYMMDD. This format only we need to use. Okay, next we are having date time data type, and this we need to use this format again: year, month, date. Up to here it is same. Along with the date, it will also store time, that means hours, minutes, seconds. Okay, this is the format which we need to use to enter date time data type. Okay, I hope I'm clear till here. Everyone except char and varchar, is everything clear? Guys, please respond.
Yes.
Great, great, great. Please, let's keep this session interactive. And if you have any doubts also, you can ask me at any time. So this is about the data types. Now, first, by using these data types, let me just create this table. So create table name for employee ID. What will be the data type here? Please answer. We'll store numbers in employee ID.
Yeah, int.
Int, perfect. It can be int, right? For employee name, obviously we will store characters. So either we can use char or varchar. As I didn't explain the differences between them for you, I'm writing char now. after some time, I will explain you the difference between those two things. Okay. And next, I'm having salary. I can store int as well as float here. Maybe I'll use float, correct? Because sometimes we will use decimal values also over there. Suppose it's something like 1.2, 2.5 lakhs, like that also we will use, right? So we will prefer using floats for that kind of data because it accepts normal numbers also as well as decimal numbers also, correct? So next we are having date of joining, and I need to use obviously date data type, right? Correct. So this is how we will create the table. I need to write create table name, and I need to use parenthesis, that is brackets. Inside the brackets, I need to write column names, and according to the data which we enter in that column, we need to define the data types for each and every column. Correct. So let me just select this and let me execute this. Oh, sorry for that. I missed a very important point here. Sorry, guys. So after creating databases, first we need to activate the database. Sorry, my bad. Activate the database. I forgot about this. So basically, once we create any database, first we need to activate the database. That means here I'm having this many databases, right? So whenever like this, you can see what kind of error also I got here. I tried to execute one query. It thrown me an error stating no database selected. Correct? Because I didn't selected the database only. Before selecting the database or without selecting the database, if I execute any of the SQL query, it will throw me this error only, because SQL will get confused that which database it should use or in which database it should execute the statement. Okay, for that purpose, especially in MySQL, we will first activate the database every time we will use. That means every time, in the sense, once we open this session or once we open this workbench, we need to activate the database and we need to use. Usually in real time, we don't use this because we will work on only one database, right? In learning purpose only, we will have multiple databases here. So we need to activate the database. And to activate the database, we will use command. Use this one command which is used to activate the database. So the syntax is use database name. Okay. So I can directly say use OTT. This OTT is our database now, right? So after every time we need to use, not only after creating, not only after creating the database. If I close this workbench and tomorrow if I open once again, if I want to work in the same file, I need to activate this one only. Once I need to activate, then I can execute or I can write whatever I want. Okay. So for activating, as I said, use database name is the syntax. So I wrote use OTT. I'm just selecting this and executing. Now, if you observe, previously it is in normal color, but now OTT, it got some dark black or bold color, right? So this is the indication to understand now OTT is a database. This database is in activation, correct? All the remaining databases are in light normal color only. This is only in dark black color, correct? So now I activated this database. Then now I can create my table. It will accept me. I'm just selecting once again. I'm creating the table. See, my table got executed. I got green tick here. Previously, whenever I got error, it is showed me with a red color cross mark symbol, correct? And the error was most of the time in SQL, 90% of the time it will, with the help of the error code only, we will understand what mistake we have done. Okay. For sometimes only if we did very, syntax errors, or if we missed anything, suppose if I missed something here, that bracket, like at that time it will say syntax error. But most of the times if we did any mistakes here, it will, with the help of the errors only, we will realize what is our mistake. Okay. So now, as you can see here, I created my database called as OTT. I activated my database and I created my table. So again, now you can see in every database we will have this kind of 4 things. One is tables, views, store, procedure, functions. We will discuss them going forward. For now, we are concentrating on tables. Okay, as I created my table to show to get this table into this list, again I need to refresh the database here, this schema, complete schema. Besides schema, we are having refresh button, right? I need to refresh Then you can see I can able to expand my table now. I need to, here I have some drop down. I need to expand this and I can see employees like this. Employees is a table which I just created. And here, especially in MySQL, this is the beauty of MySQL is that whenever we select the table at the bottom, we can see all the column names and data types which we created. Okay, so I gave the column names here, employee ID, employee name, salary, and data types, and these are the data. Sorry, these are the columns which we created, and these are the data types which we created. Correct. So now I created this data type, but every time we need to remember that, especially for character data, whenever you be using char or varchar, we will define a size for that. Okay, what is char, what is varchar, what is the size, why we need to define the size, everything I will discuss in tomorrow's demo class. Okay, because the time won't sufficient now. If I start this concept, I will discuss detailedly about char and varchar tomorrow. Okay, so here I didn't give any size for you. That is the reason SQL by default took only size as 1 here, or else we need to define the size here. What is size and what is char and varchar, basically I will explain you in tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow's class. And I created my data, created my table, I can say. Now I will insert the data. To insert the data, we will use insert command here. Okay, insert is one command which we will use to insert the data, and the syntax here is insert into. We need to write the data here. Actually, I will write without syntax. I'm just writing the normal query here. So I need to write table name here. Insert into table name, that is my employee's name. Okay. After writing employees, I will use a keyword called as values. Insert into table name values. Now I need to use this parenthesis and I can enter my data here. I need to enter all this data, whatever I have in the columns like this. We entered some data, right? So that data we are going to enter by using the insert command. Okay, and what is the first column we have? Employee ID. So I'm just giving one. E-name. So I said we can use char or varchar, and every time whenever we are defining a character data, either char or varchar, we need to define size like this. Basically in the brackets we need to define 10. If I mean whatever size we want, that size we can define. What is that indicates in the sense, if I define 10 as my size here, I am allowed to enter up to only 10 letters in this employee name column. Okay, basically for each and every letter we are giving or we are allocating some memory in the databases by defining this size. Okay, if I mention 10, I can enter up to 10 only. If I try to enter some 11 or 12 letters word, it won't accept. Okay, so like that we need to define the size here whenever we are writing any kind of character data. Here previously I didn't define, I forgot defining the size. That is the reason by default it took one. As it took one, what happened, I need to enter only one letter word here. I'm not supposed to enter more than one letter word. If I enter, it will throw me error. So that is the importance of size here. Got my point, guys?
Yes.
Okay, so here as I already entered only, I didn't enter anything as I got only one. Okay, let me keep it as one as it is, and let me enter only one data, maybe A. Okay, this will be my name. Just imagine this is my employee name. Okay, as I entered only one, I actually, to be frank, I forgot entering the size in a flow. So that is the reason SQL automatically took one as the size. Okay, so going forward, now only I don't want to show how we will, if we forgot or if I want to update this size, we can do that, but I want to go with the flow. That is the reason I'm not showing you here. Instead of that, according to the size it took, I'm just giving the name here. Going forward, we will learn each and every topics, how we will update everything, all the topics we will learn very detailedly. Okay, so let me give some salary here, maybe 50,000. And next I'm giving some names, some dates. As I said, we need to use this format. I'm writing the same format, first year, then month, then date, something like this. Okay, this will be my first row data. I need to write my data of the first row inside the parenthesis, and I need to separate with the comma here. Whenever inside the parenthesis, if SQL sees comma, it will understand that this will be my first column data, second column data, third column data, fourth column data. And whenever it sees the end of the bracket, it understands this is my first row data. Now, if I want to enter second row, I need to keep comma. Again, within the brackets, I need to enter second row data like this. Am I clear, guys? And if you observe, for character data and for data type data, I'm using quotes here, right? Single quotes. Either we can use single quotes or double quotes, no problem. But we need to write or we need to use quotes here. Okay. For numbers, no need of using any quotes. But for data type data and character data, we need to use single quotes. Okay. For now, I'm just entering 2 rows of the data and I'm executing this. Am I clear with the insert syntax, everyone? Great. I'm just selecting this and I'm executing. My data got inserted, correct? So now to display the data, I created my table, I inserted the data. I want to see the output now. Sorry. I want to see how I can see here in the Excel file. I can see like this, right? So same in the form of the table. If I want to see the output, I use one more command called as select command. Select is a command which we will use to display the data. Okay. So I'll directly write it as select star from table name. This is my syntax. Okay. Select, let me write all else. This will be my syntax. Select star from table name. Okay. And star, we will call it as asterisk here. Okay. Something called as asterisk or star. When we will use star in the sense or asterisk in the sense, whenever we want to display complete data. If we want to display complete data, we will use asterisk. Okay. So I want to display now complete data. So I will use asterisk select star from what is the table name we created? Employees. I'm writing the same table name here. I'm selecting this and I'm executing this. I got my table. This is my table, employee ID, employee name, salary, date of joining. I can see same how I can see in the form of Excel. I got the same output in SQL also. Correct? So this is how we will create the table. We will insert the data and we will display the data. As I said, to display the complete data, we will use asterisk. But if I want to see any particular data, we will use column names there. Suppose if I want to see, let me just copy the same thing. Suppose if I want to see any particular data, maybe instead of asterisk, if I want to see only employee name, comma, salary, I will write that column names here. Right, instead of asterisk I wrote only 2 column names and select employee name comma salary from employees. If I select this and execute, I will get only that particular data here. If we want to display complete data, we will use asterisk, or else we will use whatever data we want, that column names we will use. Am I clear, guys? Still here? Everyone?
Yes, madam.
Okay, great. Okay.
Beg
So
my pardon, madam. Can you please elaborate? I think we don't have much time. Can you
okay,
please elaborate what the topics you will be
that
covered in
is,
this course?
yeah, that is what I'm opening now. If you can see here, this is the course index we are covering. So introduction to database and SQL, which we are done. Okay, limitations of Excel I didn't explain you. If I get some time, I will explain going forward. Obviously, I will explain for you. But as I said, we are having some limitations in Excel file, and that limitations we will overcome by using SQL. For you, I didn't explain this. I will explain you going forward. Okay. Next, creation of database and tables, which we saw today, right? Next, MySQL installation process. Next, we'll learn all the data types. What are all data types we have? Almost we covered, but I need to explain the char and varchar differences, and I need to explain about character data types detailedly for you. Next, SQL commands. We have this many SQL sub-languages, I can say. In each and every sub-language, we will have so many commands here. I will teach everything very practically. Okay. Next, we are having concept called as integrity constraints, where we will follow some rules, primary key, foreign key, candidate key kind of things. We will explain that one. Select is a command which is already done. Where clause. Okay. There is a where so up to here, actually up to the select, whatever I all the SQL commands, integrity constants. Up to here, I will use basic tables only, employee tables or students table, so that you can understand the basic concepts. From here, I will use the live project for us, that is Netflix OTT platforms database. By once we are done with these concepts, I will explain you what kind of data is there, how you will restore that database in your systems, everything, and we will start discussing the concepts, everything from there with the real-time database. Okay. So from here, I can say our main concepts will start. That is where clause, order by clause. We are having SQL operators. Many operators will have, like range operator, membership operator. We have some basic operators also. All the logical operators we will learn. Next, distinct clause, limit clause, and inside the limit we are having some wildcards, by using which we will understand pattern matching of the data. Next, we have many functions. We will learn all the functions very clearly. We are having aggregate functions also. I missed writing that here. We will cover that. Next important concept of SQL, I can say joins. You need to learn joins. Mostly 90% of the time we will work on joins only. So each and every join I will explain very clearly by giving many examples. Once I will done with the each and every examples in the class, for especially for joins concept, I will give you assignment also, some examples to practice. You can practice so that you can understand how much you learned on the joins concept. Again, I will give some time, and after that, after maybe 1 week or 10 days, maybe 1 week, after that I will explain all those examples in class also once again, so that if you write anything wrong, if you didn't able to solve any question, that will be clarified in the class, right? Next, we have concepts called as regular expressions, which is the most important concept for specially data analysts. Of course, SQL developers will also use. Regular expressions is one concept by using which we will understand how we will deal with the pattern of the data, pattern matching kind of thing. I will explain all the concepts with examples only. Next, group by clause, having clause, aggregation along with group by and having clauses. Next, we are having concept called as subqueries. We are having two types of subqueries. We will discuss everything along with the examples. Next, normalization concepts. We are having many normal forms. How we will create this normal forms, ER diagrams, what is denormalization. This is one concept, all the related concept I can say. Next, views, indexes, temporary tables, store procedures. Along with this, we'll having Windows function and what we call CTEs. I will explain those two things also. Okay. Then at the end, I will explain interview questions. I'll give you some important interview questions, and at the end, we will discuss with that interview questions. So this is the course content which I am going to cover in this course. Okay. Am I clear, guys? We are almost done with the time. If you have any questions, you can ask me quickly.
No, you don't cover that functions and triggers, those things you are not cover.
Triggers is a concept of PLSQL actually. I'm just teaching MySQL. Only triggers will not be covered here. Again, in PLSQL we have triggers and procedures, right?
Yeah, functions.
Yeah. That one is not covered here. This is completely MySQL. Technically, I will teach each and every concepts here up to this content, this chapters I can say, or topics.
So you cover the window functions, all right? Window functions.
Yes, window functions. Okay.
So Tableau is a different this one.
Yes, it is a visualization tool actually. Tableau, if anyone wants to start your career as a data analyst, you need to learn SQL first. I mean, if you need to have a knowledge on SQL. Along with that, you need to learn any visualization tool. Tableau is one tool which I am teaching. And nowadays, Tableau and Power BI too is having equal demand in the market. You need to know SQL, and you need to learn any one visualization tool. Then you can apply for data analyst role.
Okay. But the timings will be different, right?
Yeah, timings actually, yes. Timings will be different.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Hello, ma'am. You
Yes,
cover
Roshan.
also Tableau, ma'am, or Power BI?
I will actually, that is a complete different subject, I can say. In this MySQL, I will only teach this concepts. I am teaching Tableau also for DurgaSoft, not Power BI for now. Previously, I used to teach Power BI. Now I'm teaching Tableau. Okay.
So
Yes,
Tableau is also covered under this course, or is
Question is,
separate?
No, it's different. This is only MySQL course. The course fees is only 2000. That is different subject. If anyone is interested, you can just join the demo classes and you can attend. That a Tableau is technically, I will teach everything very practically. For all the concepts I will cover in the Tableau along with the real-time dashboard. At the end, I will make you to create a real-time dashboard from the scratch. And the course fees of that is 6000. That is completely different. Okay. And as Ajay, as you said, with this course, we can solve the product-based companies' queries very easily. Okay. Because as I said, by using real-time, whatever concepts I'm covering in this course, I will explain all those concepts with real-time examples and real-time, database only. So you can easily crack any of the company's interview for SQL. Okay.
Ma'am, my next question is how to process the install the MySQL.
Yeah, I will explain. I will explain in the class. And once we are done with tomorrow is also a demo class. After tomorrow is Tuesday, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, on Wednesday, from Wednesday, our demo classes will be done. Whoever get registered, they will get a new link. And on Wednesday, I will show you the MySQL installation process. Okay.
What will be the best schedule?
Sorry, what will be the?
Best schedule means timing.
Time is this one only, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. IST.
7 p.m. to 8 p.m.
8 p.m. actually. We are done with the.
Weekend batches or weekend batches is also available.
Weekdays. Actually, I will take Monday to Friday. If needed, maybe I will take Saturday anytime. Like maybe one Saturday if I needed, if I think that course is not completing. If I may take one Saturday, but mostly without taking Saturdays also, we can complete Monday to Friday. The same 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. IST. Okay.
So 7 weeks it will be covered.
Yeah, the complete 35 to 40 days. You can see the sessions. We will upload everything, right? How many videos we will done, whatever course content, whatever topics I'm showing here, every topic I will cover within that time. Okay. All right, guys. If you don't mind, I'm having Tableau batch. I'm already late. I have Tableau from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Please connect tomorrow also. If you have any doubts, we can we can discuss tomorrow also. Okay.
Okay.
All right,
Okay.
guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye bye.